So, I'm just looking on the old Tinterweb, and apparently Britain is now on recession watch because hiring has slumped. And once again, the experts are baffled as this wasn't predictable. As if we haven't been staring at this train wreck in slow motion for years. But now I've got some questions. Basic ones. Uncomfortable ones. The kind the experts pretend don't exist. So, let's begin, shall we? Yes, hello, welcome to the channel. It's me, Chris Brooks. I hope everyone's well. So yeah, apparently according to this, Britain is on recession watch, which something that I think we've all known for a while anyway. But what I want to get to is, why are we on a recession watch? So question number one, are these numbers taking into account the daily conveyor belt of state-sponsored holidaymakers that we're importing in by the boatload? Because if thousands are arriving every week, shouldn't the labour market be booming? Shouldn't companies be spoilt for choice for workers? Unless, and this is awkward, they're not actually here to fill the jobs that we're told are so desperately vacant. Maybe, just maybe, they're not being counted at all, which makes the entire headline a statistical magic trick. Question number two. What about the shift that started in 2020? Remember? Remember that time? The great pause button? Millions of people had months to stop, to think, to research, to reflect. And many realised that they didn't actually want to live their lives chained to traffic jams, fluorescent lighting, and an alarm clock that screams 5 AM. Some people woke up. Some people never went back to work. And who can blame them? If you had a taste for freedom, why run back to the hamster wheel? Just because Rishi Sunak says that the economy needs you. But here's the darker question, and one that nobody dares talk about. How many people are no longer here at all because they trusted the science? We were told the cure was safe. We were told it was effective. I guess it was, depending on what you thought it was effective at. And we were told that it was our only way back to normal. And yet, working-aged people have dropped down dead in numbers that nobody in power wants to discuss. That's a double hit to the economy. The dead who will never return to the workforce, and the living who watched it happen and no longer trust the system that lied to them. But it's also a double whammy in the regards of, you've lost people in work because of medical interventions, and you've lost people looking for work because of medical interventions. It is just a thought, but it's my thought. Now listen to the language of the experts. Here's one. Firms report hiring intentions have cooled significantly. Cooled? That's the word? It's not cooled, it's frozen solid. It's ice age territory. Climate change, don't you know? Another gem? Vacancies are still falling and have been falling constantly for the last 3 years. 3 years straight, that's not a slump. That's a collapse with a polite English accent. And now let's talk about the contradictions. We're told that unemployment remains low. Oh good, problem solved. Until you ask, who counts as unemployed? Because if you're too sick to work, you're not unemployed. If you've given up entirely, you're not unemployed. And if you've slipped into the government's favourite category, economically inactive, you vanish like magic. Low unemployment, high inactivity, shrinking vacancies, and they still scratch their heads wondering why the economy looks shaky. But the spin is incredible. They say the UK labour market is cooling. That's how you describe a cup of tea left on the counter. Not a workforce that's being hollowed out by sickness, disillusion and death. They say wage growth has slowed. Slowed? That's one way of putting it. Another way? People can't afford food, or rent, or heat, but yes, let's politely say it's slowed. Let's call it what it is. The system is rigged. And we're being gaslit. We're being told that the ship is steady while the deck tilts beneath our feet. We're told that the problem is temporary while the cracks run down the entire hull. And every official statement just feels like you're rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. So let's bring it back to the double hit, because it matters. Hit 1. The living. Those too burnt out, too sceptical, or just too unwilling to re-enter the rat race. Hit 2. The dead. Those that were lost and never counted. Together, they've reshaped the workforce in ways that no economist would ever want to admit to. So no, the UK isn't just on a recession watch. It's on a reality watch. Because the real question isn't whether the numbers just dipped. It's whether or not we can admit as to the reasons to why they dipped in the first place. A workforce that was lied to. A system that chews people up then spits them out. A society where the official story is always just reassuring enough from you asking the dangerous questions. But we're asking them now. And maybe that's what really keeps them awake at night. Let me know what you think in the comments as always. Look after yourselves and I will speak to you all again soon. Bye for now.